2 years ago, when we first heard about Syren, it sounded like a dream come true. Trapped on board an underwater research vessel with deadly mermaids at every turn, it sounded like a can't-miss pitch, especially when you add in the immersive and extra terrifying component that VR brings along with it. But a lot has changed since then, and PlayStation VR owners have been blessed with stellar, similar sci-fi outings like The Persistence, and noteworthy additions to the stealth horror genre like Home Sweet Home. And in this vastly different gaming landscape, it's painfully obvious that Syren simply can't compete, and struggles to even keep its head above water. As you start exploring Syren's opening level, a few glaring issues will hit you immediately. First, this is one blurry game. Every texture is muddied with a low-resolution Vaseline smear, with trails happening at every turn, making me wonder how the refresh rate of the visuals is so low. The most disappointing part of this is that the environments actually look well designed, and seem like places I would have otherwise wanted to explore. But even traversing these levels is hampered by mandatory click turning and an awkward control scheme, forcing you to use X to walk and the move button to grab items. We've seen worse methods of movement, so this isn't a deal breaker. But what is a deal breaker is the moment-to-moment gameplay of distracting, hiding, and running from the enemies. It's an exercise in frustration, more trial and error than anything. In fact, if you find yourself crouching behind a table or hiding in a bathroom stall, you've done something wrong. The best survival method here is to throw an object in one direction and run in the other, moving through rooms and hitting checkpoints as quickly as possible.
Find any intel worth preserving, then do so, but don't linger here too long. We're doing all we can to slow down that sub, but time is short.
Syren comes packed with episodes 1 and 2, which honestly aren't that much different from each other. Episode 1 is more about stealth, while episode 2 has you backtracking through all of the same levels, but with an arsenal of weapons, which brings us to the most innovative part of Syren as a game, the pause screen. At any point during episode 2, pausing the game will bring you to a weapon shop, allowing you to buy ammo and guns with all the credits that you've acquired, making you feel pretty much unstoppable at every moment. But even this feature doesn't totally work the way it should. I'd often return to my game fully armed and loaded, but with an enemy mere feet away from me, meaning at least a few seconds had passed in my absence. This is only really obvious during the last big firefight, as most levels will have you facing just 1 or 2 enemies at a time, and usually from a distance. I was really looking forward to Syren. From reading Steam reviews, I knew this wasn't a AAA title, and it was certainly going to have at least a few flaws. But during the 3 hours I spent ridding the world of evil mermaids, there were only a few moments where I felt like I was having any fun at all, surrounded by long stretches of severe disappointment and frustration. I'm hoping developer Hammerhead VR can give their game a bit more love to save it from being a complete loss. But with plenty of better alternatives already available, I can't currently recommend Syren at any price.
Identification needed for access.